Yeah, the Twitter post I saw as well on the Maestro LAN. I hope to be there if the cunts would invite me. That's what they are. Actual cunts. Joking. No, see, the thing is, like, also with this too, I feel like you don't want to. It's good to review the top, but it's also good to interesting to see like people's different approaches here. DRAMIS is a very no one else plays like him. He plays very specifically, and I'm not just saying that he just like pushes very aggressively. He just plays different to everyone. Base also the same. The way he hits damage compared to others also very specific. We could watch Razy and fucking Wenger play like all day, but sometimes it like doesn't really. You can also just take little snippets from this, and it would be very good. Interesting that he pits DK first. And DRAMIS banned CK, interestingly enough. Base usually bans this. But I guess that's just how it worked out. DRAMIS ult. Interesting. They're just both very good at the similar maps. On the last map, I think this Athena pick was a bit too courageous. I mean, Aizen is hard to play here. Scalebearer was up. That's also can be Anarchy's not too bad there. What else could he have picked? Ranger, but that's also not that great against Anarchy sometimes. Yeah, tough. You had to play with 140 ping on Awoken? Fuck me. What, because he was getting 140 at NA East?
As skilled as Base is, there are people that have better raw aim than him. Wenger was one of those. DRAMIS could be another, particularly with the rail. So
DRAMIS.
Expect Base to play a little bit more reserved to understand the angles and how DRAMIS wants to play with that weapon, because everybody knows how.
Okay, let's watch one map, because we'll play phase right after.
Here's big damage right off the bat, and DRAMIS can't run away. He is on fire. That is a roasted dinosaur right off the bat. But Base also ticking down to 25 to negate the damage. It's still very weak. DRAMIS on the
and there is a flame strike. We know if you run into a choke point against a sword like you'll get spat on, but against a Death Knight you'll get blown up and roasted. So a bit more utility coming out of that ability. Full base so far.
Long range rocket pretty annoying. See, look the way that DRAMIS even executed that. What the fuck was that? Like, look at how he manages to. Again, to oversimplify the game is all about picking up the fucking items and doing the damage. It doesn't matter, it just matters, and everything in between that is just like how it gets done. Picking up the items, doing the damage. This first rocket, look how deep it is, and it's a fucking direct, basically.
Full base so far, but good return damage from DRAMIS. You can see already how tanky she is, and she finds.
And I don't know, just the way that he perceives the game is like, well, it's funny because like Razy in some sense is also doing the same shit, but that was very, very specific. That's why I think sometimes it can be important to watch other players play rather than just like people that also place well.
So yeah, as you mentioned, the flame strike going to be a huge component here for Base. The rail just taking off his head. DRAMIS pixel perfect with that one. We got great balls of fire. We got acid spit. We got everything here at the QuakeCon Pro League. As DRAMIS tries to thread the needle on that one, but instead he takes one, but dishes it back out to Base. A good damage output here as DRAMIS tries to make his way up to the upper level. Mega's not going to be up for 15 seconds, Dan. Base
yeah.
Here.
I know, Miley.
Almost. Never mind. Stays alive.
Yeah, don't know if that was a missed time.
Ooh.
Just got caught off guard, but no, he doubles back for more. And it was a clutch rail as he was falling away. Swords. DRAMIS' progression, and now Base has got back onto the map. He's picked up.
The only thing that maybe you can learn from like people that play at that place high is look at the consistent factors that are all Adderall there, which is like,
with where he should be
you
going.
know,
He's eaten a couple of rails.
people that usually place high
Of a trap.
have a much higher emphasis, in my opinion, around like base fundamentals. Not base, the player, but like the noun. The fundamentals and also playing the items. Whereas but interestingly enough, you have all this exciting shit in between. Like when I play Spotty, he plays fucking crazy. And actually, there are some moments where hitting damage in a very specific way actually flips control quite hard, and you can use that to your advantage because in some circumstances where you're fucked in a game, how can you combo damage, which flips control quite hard, right? He is someone who's extremely good at that because you see it so often.
Caught him here, down by the LG, but he's a rail himself, so he's pretty low. There's already a big split between the items, 40. DRAMIS makes his way across, but gets hit by the rail. He's low, and base will finish him off now.
Oh, that awkward stare down before he pulls out the rocket launcher and says, I'm going to have to put you down. I'm sorry. Tied at 3 minutes in, Dan.
Nice initiation round, the LG follow-up. The spit comes out, so base will back off to the Mega, which is coming up soon. There should be a light there as well, as he's got the rotation on the upper ground sorted, and that's what DRAMIS needs to fix. He's done a great job contesting these items, just largely been from the lower ground. So he needs to have more of a presence on the upper ground, because there comes a time where your good fortune, your good aim will miss, and you need to have the better position.
Yo, Stainless.
Absolute patience that we just saw from DRAMIS on that play, knowing that he can't really fight through the flames, being very, very patient, not giving up the frag. He is still extremely weak, but it's nice to see that he didn't just push through and try and make something happen out of nothing. He does take a rail, but both players extremely weak here. Base will grab the armor shard in the Mega, though, and the Heavy's not going to be safe. DRAMIS has to try and maybe damage on here after picking up the armor shard, but still in the danger zone.
In the danger zone.
To get into a groove on these items. And we saw this earlier when we casted DRAMIS. He wasn't able to break the stranglehold that Waz has on his items, so we do need to see more aggression from DRAMIS contesting the pickup.
Well, base wasn't available, I guess, but
He's done his job, and again, we can see the rotation. He's got this light straight into the Mega and then into finding his opponent.
now this is. I'm going to show you something.
He's got this light. That's to see more aggression.
This is like just potentially overanalyzing a situation here, but when you're playing, at least for me, is like try, especially if it's a competition. Sometimes in practice it's hard to not do this because you're kind of just like fuck, like whatever. But look at Base's reaction when he's standing on here. For like 1 second, he's kind of like, fuck, all right, I'm just gonna wait here and I'm gonna pick this up. What does it really have that much of an impact? It's hard to say. I think it actually does. That here, try to avoid moments like this where you do this naturally, or if you catch yourself doing this, because actually, I think this type of like very slight, different mental shift. Like imagine if he picks up this armor, gets the Mega, and then just tries to find him straight away. I think the way that you attack, based on exactly like how you're feeling and the thoughts you're having, it actually does impact how you play. I noticed because that's exactly the same thing that I get, and if you play with focus the 100% of the time, even if you're waiting for the fucking armor, that when as soon as you pick it up, you just go again.
Base done his job, and again, we can see the rotation. He's got this light straight into the Mega.
At least that works for me.
And then into finding his opponent. He does the damage.
Nora's back. Have a good day, dude.
Falls back into the rotation. So DRAMIS now
Have a very good systems class.
And there he is. He's contesting for the mid ground. He's got perfect timing on it, jumping on it, stealing it away. And also
I don't know. I think it's actually like important. It's more about, in my opinion, Evumatic, it's like consistency of thoughts and flow. You don't want it to just like, you don't want to just randomly stop when you're in the middle of something. If you're in like the middle of a game, the whole fucking time you're thinking about pushing for 10 fucking minutes, or you're thinking about exactly what to do, and like that relaxation, like that moment of like lapse of just like chilling there, I think it can slow you down.
Base on the ropes. He could escape through the back, but he doesn't want to go out. Ooh, that was close with the shot.
Hard. He's able to cancel that flame strike there, and Base just got caught out. That was perfect spit from DRAMIS, making that window room absolutely a nightmare. Anywhere overstepped, it would have been tick damage. Tried to make
Lol.
shotgun happen.
Moments like this. What the fuck is that?
A nightmare anywhere that
It doesn't even make sense how he's able to return the damage here.
overstepped, it would have been tick damage.
And also escape with taking fucking so little.
Shotgun happen. Look at the wrist from DRAMIS. His base going to drop down on this heavy. It's going to be very dangerous. There's the rocket jump up. Good snag here, but he's very, very weak, and base is going to jump on.
It was casual, dude. It was casual.
1 HP. Oh, Dan.
Does he get away with this? Base
What gives him the right?
actually lets him get away with that. Anyway, Mace took the retreat back into the rotation. He understands that playing the map at this point in the game is more important than giving.
Oh, kind of lagged out a bit there. So now, let's have a think about that for a second, right? Now that we've seen it, you've seen DRAMIS do that. Now when you play versus someone, and you see that, oh, all of a sudden, DRAMIS hits really fucking crazy hits crazy damage in really fucking weird moments. And now when you play versus someone, potentially you don't get so annoyed because you're not so surprised. You've seen it. And after you've seen it, you know you can be like, well, this can happen. It's not such a shock to the system. Lol. Potentially also Miley. I guess there is like some benefit to that too. I guess potentially off that, I would just say it's like it's based on what you find like works for you, and just like how can I say, if you feel like there is a consistency there, that it is better for you to relax in those moments. But I find I play my best when I'm focused like the whole time. But I agree that in some situations, especially if you're playing a tournament, well, funnily enough, we're playing one now, that maybe it also, how can I say, benefits you to not fatigue. But I don't know. It's pros and cons for both, I guess, is what we could say. Yeah, exactly, right? What RMV said. Exactly. Actually, Mangonite, it's funny that I would use the exact same word too, but it's not meant for a sexual sense. Well, even still going onto that topic, like, let's say that emotions impact how you move and shoot through the game, right? And so having to pause there, you just have to decide for yourself if it actually is beneficial or not for you, or if you need to be continuously focused. I think perhaps on that note, I would say, like, it's about how can I say? Oh wow! Ooh. Does he do? Oh, let's have a look. DRAMIS goes through the low ground here. No. I want to show you something. Mm, okay. I've made this mistake before, and well, can be potentially like this too. Generally speaking, when you're chasing someone, you always want to go high to low ground because, well, for this exact reason, right? Firstly, if base doesn't go low ground, he's like, it's gonna take him so much time for him to get back to high ground. Whereas if DRAMIS just goes high and then chases low, it's actually much easier to like be able to follow through with someone. It's a very subtle difference because then he has to rocket jump, and then even then it's like you're like more easily stopped. I mean, I think he can hear where base is.
Available for base, so even if DRAMIS catches him out, it's going to be big damage. 10. It's all about the spawn now, Dan. Flame Strike is available.
Potentially not. It would have been hard because we don't know for sure.
Base, so even if DRAMIS catches him out, it's going to be big damage. 10 seconds. He's got to find him. He's got to rocket jump all over the place, and that's not the kind of rocket jump he wants. It looks like base is just going to be able to sit in place.
Maybe there is Manganai, but not that I'm aware of.
8 to 7 base, just inching that one out.
Doesn't seem to be consistent. There seems to be like when you spawn.
It was really DRAMIS' game, I feel like, and it just kind of.
Like can I say, when you spawn, you either spawn where you died or you spawn on the other side of the map. I don't know. I think if no players are on the map, I think you just spawn like deathmatch spawns. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I've tried to figure out if like delay or spawn after, but. I'm not too sure. If anybody does know, I'd be curious to know, but not that I'm aware of. Lol, RMV. Yeah, I feel that actually. Well, in some sense, it actually does benefit to. Or does it? I think it's to like delay. If you delay for a full 5 and your opponent spawns, at least you know where they spawned, right? It could work. That's probably just thinking about it too much. I'd just say fucking just spawn, mate. Now, how bad was the second map?